What's up, Daddy Hades here, and today I'll be going over the build for which, after all, Daddy Hades, I should have some idea about this character. Which I named my entire channel off of this because of how much I use him. So first we're going to talk about his abilities. His passive is Blight, which is a buff that applies to any enemies that are hit by any of his attacks, which increase the effectiveness of them, which comes in handy when you're bursting, which in most cases you are. Death from below. Travel underground, meaning you can't be hit by attacks, which is great for avoiding the attacks that kind of block you and your team off of them when the enemy is low, so you can rush in there and hopefully grab them. But what happens is everyone in the AoE gets damaged, applies Blight to them, which, as you can see, it takes 60% of your magical power and adds it to it. Which the build I'm going to go over for items comes greatly in handy. Shroud of Darkness, nobody really cares about this one. It applies Blight though, so it's kind of useful in some choice circumstances. But Devour Souls is probably by far most useful, except for number 1. Number 1 is the most useful. But 3 is the heavy hitter, really. It consumes Blight, does not apply it, so keep them blighted and then use this. It's gonna hurt a lot more. But it's just an AoE damage around you, so it's pretty straightforward. Get close to him, use the 3. You can get close to him using the 1, 2, and 3. It's a very simple combo, which 70% of your magical power is applied to this. So yeah, high magical power equals, yeah, it's gonna really hurt. Which then comes to number 4, which is kinda tricky to pull off if you're solo. The people have to be pretty low, if not almost dead, for it to kill them itself. But you can cancel it and use 3 if they use Sanctuary, or use your 1 to chase them down. It's all about how you play. I'm a very aggressive player, so this build's not very tanky. It's very aggressive, it hits really hard. Thing is, you gotta keep yourself alive long enough to use it, which number 4 is really hard to pull off without dying. Either you trap their entire team in a joust situation, or if you're kinda cut off from everybody else and it's just you and one other, possibly 2. Hades has a lot of AoE damage, so you might be able to pull it off. But 30% of your magical power goes into this, so big number. Magical power really builds onto this, and it's really helpful when you use items such as Polynomicon, Bancroft's Talon, which give you that magical life steal. Yeah, they're both magical. I had to look at them for a second. But while you're using your ult, you'll steal health from them, so even though you're damaging them, you're kind of regaining health at the same time. I like to start off with Shoes of Focus, but other people like to use... let's see. What's it called? A lot of people like to use Shoes of Magi, which give you more, but when you're starting off first, Hades can a lot of times be forced into a support role or a kind of cannon fodder role, which is really annoying. Because then when you die, all of your teammates die, and you have to kind of hold the place. It's super annoying. But also when Rod of Tahuti and Book of Thoth come in handy. Book of Thoth giving you extra mana, so you can kind of stay out in the lane longer before having to go back, and Rod of Tahuti gives you that extra attack behind your punches, which normally tells people to back up or they're gonna die. Hades is a very scary character when he has the full build, which gives you 775 magical power. It's not the maximum, but this is kind of built around the idea that you want to be strong, but at the same time you want to survive, which is why you sacrifice some of the magical power that you could get with magical lifesteal. But with Blast you want Spear of Desolation, which is the most expensive item in this build. It takes a while to get to full build, but it is really worth it, because the magical power that Spear of Desolation gives, plus with the magical penetration. Then when you kill an enemy god, you get cooldown reductions, which comes amazingly in handy. especially when there's multiple enemies and you gotta pick them off one by one. So this has been my burst build for Hades in Smite. I hope that somebody will find this interesting or useful. Leave a like and subscribe if you did. Comment down below if you'd like to see more builds. I'm just beginning to start doing builds for Smite and Guild Wars, but there are other games that I do play. So if you'd like to see a specific game, a specific build, or an input on one, then I read all comments and I'll see it. Peace.